All these patients complaining they can't get their medicines. Insurers and PBMs are often owned by the same giant company, so middlemen, like me, decide what medicines you can get and how much you pay. But don't worry, if your prescription gets denied, we know another one that works for us. I mean, you.
Washington should stop PBMs and insurers from driving up drug costs. Learn more at phrma.org/insurer costs. Paid for by pharma.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Now, when you think talking real money, if you've been listening to us for a while, you think, oh, they're going to talk about investing. Why? Well, because most of the time we talk about investing, given that that's the area of greatest confusion among baby boomers and some of the younger kids, the Gen Xers and whatever. I can't remember all the gens. But anyway, welcome to Talking Real Money on a different topic, the earning of money. Hi, I'm Don McDonald. That's Tom Cock. We're glad you're there. And today, we want to implore parents, maybe grandparents, to possibly reconsider the direction you encourage your children or grandchildren to take career-wise in today's world. Yep, not 100%, but for those kids, and you know your kids, they're not academically motivated. There's a lot of them, right? I mean, come on. Do they really want to spend 4 more years in school
or more,
yeah, getting degrees and fighting the system and then getting out of college and finding that white-collar jobs have been usurped by artificial intelligence?
Well, you're seeing it more and more, certainly, here in the Northwest. Technology, every day you read about one of the major firms laying off more people as, yes, they use more AI, or they just figure out that we're not going to spend money in that particular area anymore. It's an interesting time right now. And this article, by the way, from the Wall Street Journal is talking about people that have been employed as white-collar workers.
They're talking. The article itself talks about how those who are white-collar and lose their job might want to reconsider.
Wages.
So it's more than just, but I'm just talking about our audience is generally a little bit older. So, start when they're young. Encourage, but there are some interesting numbers that relate to the lack of people doing blue-collar jobs that don't pay huge 6-figure incomes, but can pay 6-figure incomes.
Yeah, we're talking about, the traditional white-collar tech, finance, media, marketing, moving to, electrician, plumber. They talk about, here's fascinating. Okay, one case they talk about is a company, I don't know them. I hope I never know them because I don't want to have to get my car fixed. But Crash Champions, do you know them? The car repair chain.
They're a body shop chain.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is when I read that before I finished the article, I thought, they're looking for mechanics who can pound the fenders back into shape. But what they're looking for is actually it actually verges on a semi-white collar job, because when I was a young man in my 20s, I was a service advisor at a car dealership. And that's what they're saying they need are service advisors.
How come you didn't stick it out, by the way, in the car thing?
I didn't like the car business.
Oh, okay. Oh. You can still get back into it. They're talking to you here, I think. This is an opportunity for you to move from your white padded cell job
Actually, I am so lucky in that I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, that I can make my retirement window and not change careers.
We're both spoiled in that regard. Okay, Crash Champions. They're talking about this car repair chain. I didn't realize this big, 650 shops in 38 states, and they're looking for what you just said, service advisors, people that come and look at the car.
That's the one you meet when you go in the door, and they have the pad of paper or the iPad now, and they look at your car and they give you the estimate, and then they are the ones who follow through along the way, make sure it gets through the shop. They're the ones who deal with the obstinate pain in the neck mechanics, by the way. I got to tell you, that was one of the reasons I wanted to leave that job. They're prima donnas, some of them.
Now, here's the
no
problem.
offense, mechanics.
No, here's the problem. If I tried to do this, it says you need to know a lot about cars. The only thing I know about is getting in the car and driving it, and I don't even do that very well. So
all right, wait, let me put this in perspective for you, shall we? All right. You would think
which story are you going to tell?
I went to work for a Volkswagen Subaru car dealership. A very big Volkswagen Subaru car dealership. I was invited to apply for the job by the service manager who met me at Sears because I was working service at Sears. And he brought me in and he said, you'd be great at this because basically it's about selling. Okay. I said, but I really don't know anything about cars other than I can get in one and it will move forward or backward at my command. But other than that, I don't know. And he goes, that's not a problem. We'll teach you. And I said, well, there's one other problem. He goes, well, one of the things you have to do is you have to drive the car to hear the or whatever the noise is. And then you have to drive it again after it's been fixed to give it back to the customer.
Make sure that sound's not there anymore. Yeah, right.
And here I am. I'm 20. I think I was 27, 26, maybe 26. I said, these are Volkswagens, right? He goes, well, yeah, half the cars are Volkswagens. I said, and how many of those are stick shifts? He goes, a lot back then. I said, can't drive a stick shift.
You didn't know how to drive an automatic? Okay.
Dude, no. I didn't get my driver's license until I was 19.
Yeah, it says a lot about your life. All right.
But let me tell you what he did.
Oh,
this
what
is
did
great.
he do? Yeah?
I met for the interview. I'm sitting in his office. It's a Friday afternoon. He gets up. He walks over to the loaner board where all the keys are for the cars. He pulls the keys off to a diesel standard shift Volkswagen Rabbit. Hands me the keys and he says, take this for the weekend. I said, take it and do what? He goes, teach yourself to drive a stick.
Yikes. In Colorado with all the mountains and stuff
what
and
you
hills
do? Well, I'm driving around the parking lot.
I'd spend a lot of time there if I were you.
2 hours trying to figure out how to drive it. But anyway, so no, you don't have to know anything.
No.
Just be smart.
It says in this article at Crash Champions, they said there's a 6-month apprenticeship program. Starting salary, $60,000. That's not a lot of money. And that would be a pay cut, the article points out, for many white-collar workers. But service advisors can, emphasizing can here, can double their salaries in 18 months, according to the CEO of the company. And he adds that job is often a path to becoming the general manager of a shop and eventually director in charge of several locations. Directors can make more than $200,000 a year, which is, pretty good money, right?
Yeah, and here's the thing: is the hours in blue collar work tend to be pretty good, unless you're an emergency electrician or plumber. They tend to be 9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah, which in this job that we're in, I talk to people all the time on Saturdays. We talk to people on the radio on Saturdays, but
white collar exempt jobs. I mean, all you have to watch Mad Men. Like
Bingo.
I've been doing.
They're drunk by 9 and passed out and wake up about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and get started.
And they're there
again.
on Sunday still drinking.
Exactly. Okay, but if you've already undergone some of the I guess I'd use the term loosely, training for a white collar job, they're talking here in the article about how, well, many of those things can be transferred because one of the things consumers hate is dealing with contractors. They say contractors have poor communication, inability to stick to deadlines or budgets. This is not true of everybody, by the way, so please don't write me. Professional types can be good in that field because they have those skills.
Oh, you're saying that those business skills can carry over into an entrepreneurial job as a contractor, even a handyman or woman. There's a huge demand for those.
Oh, everywhere you go.
Give me a good handyman or woman right now. I will keep them working for the rest of the year.
You'll move them right in the padded cell.
I will. I'll move them in the room. I've got plenty of rooms. I have no children here. Take the room.
Because of the sort of shift in the business world, if you will, the sheriff workers in their early 20s who are employed in blue-collar roles rose from 16.3% in 2019 to 18.5% in 2024. So in 5 years, it went up 2%, according
That's pretty
from
good.
ADP. Increase 5 times the uptick among 35 to 39-year-olds. So a lot of people are doing this. They get the education. They try the white-collar world, and they think, it's not what I thought it was going to be. I want to try something else. And they've moved on and are doing that. It's fascinating. But let me give you some more numbers.
Yeah, please.
You're going to love this.
Please.
This is, if you're thinking about this maybe it's not just for yourself, but for a kid or grandkid, listen to this from the Ford CEO, Ford Motor Company. You've heard of them. The country, according to Ford, is short 600,000 factory workers, 500,000 construction workers, and we'll need another 400,000 auto techs in the next 3 years. So, so there's a lot of opportunity there. This doesn't even get into the other trades, right? You got contractors that need people, electricians that need people, plumbers, all those areas that are short. And there's part of this is demographics, right? You and I are getting old and need somebody to come along.
I don't like fixing stuff anyway, but I'm really not doing it now.
Making it work when it works. So that's an interesting number. Then, according to another survey I read, says almost 60% of people in white-collar jobs regret that they took one, and so they're reconsidering. They're like, well, maybe that does make sense, and they're seeing more and more in the white-collar world, as I said, stagnant wages, layoffs, and no promise of advances. So this is an interesting time to be looking for a job. I think it's an interesting time for anyone who's trying to start in a career. My children have all ended up in the sort of a white collar, and my youngest is going to be, I guess, a doctor of psychology or something. Try to spend the rest of her life trying to figure me out. Good luck.
That's a full-time job right there.
You're locked in for decades.
Yeah,
if I can live that long.
She's got job security.
She does. Well, if she can figure out how to pay for the doctorate part, I got the first part figured out. But after that, wow, who knows? But I'll take one other thing because you mentioned we talk a lot about money and investing. I don't care what field you end up in, and it's harder when you're in some of these other ones, blue collar. You're still going to have to take care of yourself. The idea that you went to work for Ford Motor Company and you got a pension at the end of all that, those days are gone. Same thing at Boeing.
Well, they're not totally gone. As a matter of fact,
mostly.
If you're an electrician and you get in the IBEW, for example, or you're a carpenter and you get in the carpenters union, they still have pensions that as you work, you pay into the pensions.
Yeah, they don't have that at Boeing anymore, for example,
No.
our major manufacturer.
No, and I did some research, and a union electrician can make six figures with some experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we know a couple here, a couple people that my son went to school with. So at the end of all of this, here's the toughest part, because when you're 21, you're going to have a hard time with this. And that is, you got to know yourself. You got to know the things that motivate you. You got to know the things that interest you. And maybe, because you pointed this out, I think, on a recent program, Don, you try a few things and see kind of what works. You're not going to necessarily get on a career path. I did it that way. I tried a few things and found out I like this one. So
that your 20s are a time that you can devote to finding yourself. You and I both did that. We wandered aimlessly through the desert for a decade or more.
That is true in many cases.
For a decade or more. Matter of fact, on my New Tales Told podcast, I just did a fictionalized account of my first radio job. I turned it into a short story.
Which was in Colorado, correct?
Which was in Colorado, but it's a fictionalized account. All the names have been changed. The story is different. The basic tenet is the same of wandering through the, just
and what's the
stumbling
website?
on
Just
something.
Shameless promotion.
It's on podcast services. It's called New Tales Told.
New Tales Told.
They're all original short stories that I wrote.
At the end of the day, by the way, I'd still say there's a lot of opportunity in any of these fields. Right now, it appears there's more in the blue-collar field. That's just the moment. That could all change tomorrow. Who knows?
It's a snapshot in time.
It is, indeed. Let's go to some questions, because we get a lot of them. Keep them coming. We'd love to answer them as best we can. And this one, you mentioned Colorado. This comes from Monument, Colorado, which I imagine is rather significant, right?
No, it's a small town just north of Colorado Springs.
It's Monument, Colorado. This is going to be big.
It also is the home of Monument Hill, which is the bane of I-25 drivers in the winter.
Okay, I see. Well, why don't they go around?
You can't go around.
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's the only road north and south.
I see. Mike writes us from Monument. All right. So make sure you're not going to take this personally. Hi, guys. Enjoy your show immensely. That's one of the four basic agreements. But I have to disagree with you on your comments about staying away from Robinhood. I'm a Paul Merriman fan who follows Paul's best-in-class ultimate buy and hold using his best-in-class ETF funds. I have 100% of my funds in Vanguard 3 years ago. That changed when Robinhood offered a 3% bonus on IRA and 1% bonus on brokerage accounts if you move to their firm. I did it and made over $70,000. The only stipulation was to leave the IRA alone for 4 years and leave the brokerage account alone for 2 years. No brainer. Since doing so, I have to say that I like the Robinhood platform more than Vanguard. Super easy to use from my phone. Also, when I've needed customer service, Robinhood has been far better than Vanguard. My point is, as long as you don't buy into the gimmick tree and follow a disciplined investment strategy, why not give Robinhood a shot? Again, my funds are buy and hold, so I don't bother with all the speculative opportunities they push. Overall, I'm having a very positive experience with them.
You're a disciplined investor.
Thank you.
And any platform will work for a disciplined investor. And I knew he was going to talk about the bonus because I was tempted to take it.
It's a lot of money.
It was a lot of money. I was really tempted to take it, but I thought, no, because of my job and Pella and didn't want to have Robinhood. And Tom is the testiest about Robinhood of the two of us.
I am, because I think
he hates Robinhood.
Well, because I think they promote easy
Gambling.
money, gambling. I think they promote it. This is going to be easy. You're going to get rich. They make it exciting. And we've quoted many times Nobel Prize winners who have told you repeatedly, investing should not be exciting. Don't make it exciting, because that's how people end up losing money. And Robinhood does. And then they have all these. Don't they have some new thing they're working on where if you call them, they'll give you your money, cash or something, and you're going to charge for that? Or they have all these weird services.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why they were offering the bonus, is because they knew that a certain percentage of people coming over would succumb to the siren's song of vast wealth through trading and now the prediction markets and all of that garbage.
Thank you. They're promoting a bunch of crap, pardon my French.
But it is a very robust platform. It is a very robust app, to his point. And free money, if you have the discipline to not be taken in by their alluring offers, it's free money.
All right. So I'm going to leave it at that. I said my piece, but I'm glad your experience has been good, Mike. I hope it continues to be. Don't be tempted. That's what I'd say. So, wow. From Plymouth, Michigan, Dominic writes us, hey, maybe out of the norm question, but I'm 55 and ending, hopefully, maybe, he says, corporate career soon. I'm interested in your thoughts about someone my age beginning a new career as a financial planner. I have an MBA, but no other traditional financial advisor certificates. I love the subject matter and feel this could be a good second career for my next 10 to 15 years, potentially even part-time as I get older. Appreciate your thoughts.
I was hoping he was going to say electrician or plumber.
This was why this question's on this show. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Wow. Let me tell you, because I've tried to help several people. Here's been my experience so far. Mm-hmm. The good news is if you go get a Series 65 and you do some get educated, there are so many tools today that if you have friends and family you can manage money for, you could do it. Yeah. It's so easy today. The bar to entry is so low. That's the good news. And you're going to have to be entrepreneurial. You're going to have to go figure that out. The bad news.
You mean setting up your own RIA?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
no.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. Because if you go, what we've seen, because I've tried to help numerous people do this in a very similar spot, very bright, where they've gone, in some cases, even got their CFP.
Yeah.
And gone to firms and said, hi, I'm 55, I'm ready to do it. You can't get hired.
You can't get hired. No,
it's
going to be hard to get hired. It's going to be hard.
It's basically pretty impossible from what I've seen. So you really got to be on your own. You got to do your own thing. That's what I was trying to say.
Here's what I want to add. I hear this, too, from a lot of people, and they tend to be people who are very data-driven. They're left-brained, engineering types. I love money. I love studying it. I love this business. And they're actually the wrong kind of person to be an advisor.
You don't need that skill
Great
anymore,
advisors
basically.
are people.
Yep.
It's the tools are so robust that you don't have to have. If you have the basic knowledge of the 65, or man, if you do take your CFP and you just have that knowledge in reserve,
Yep.
you're covered. But the trick is you've got to be great with people. This is a relationship business more than it is a numbers crunching business.
Totally agree. Yeah, and so that's an important thing to know about yourself. I'd be prepared to it'd be a long road. I've got a guy I don't want to say in the South that I've been helping, and he just got started, and it looks like he's going to do okay because he had a niche. He had a group of people that he worked with for 30 years. That he knows their business, he knows what they need, and he's going ready to help them.
Yeah,
if you can find that, then it works.
If you have your people already, because the trick is the biggest hurdle to anybody being successful is getting the people to trust you, to give you the business, to pay you to manage their money.
Yeah.
And by the way, when
easy.
you say go and hang your shingle.
Yep.
Yeah, there are better tools today than there have been, but it is still a headache and a hassle, and you've got to put up a lot of money up front because there are fees. It's not a cheap business to get into.
No, all I was trying to say is the bar to entry basically is getting the Series 65.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Hate to say this. I really do hate to say it out loud, but
go ahead.
But somebody needs to say it. AI is going to reduce the number of advisors needed.
They've been saying that, yeah. So
It will reduce the number of advisors.
I thought you said something about a people business 5 minutes ago.
Right, but that will allow, though, all of that money stuff, all of the number crunching, all of the data that they have to spend, report generating and all that stuff is going to just get better and better and better and better and better so that those advisors who will be able to handle a bigger book of clients.
That's what I see happening, yeah. Well, so I see by number, you'd have fewer people because they can handle more.
Right. They can handle
clients.
more business.
The challenge is in our industry, as more people move from transactional brokerage help, if you will, to registered investment advisors, 100% fiduciaries, that whole side has grown so fast that unless that slows down,
it is not going to slow down. I predict that the commission side of the business will continue to contract rapidly.
And you've seen the major players say, we really need to be an RIA because that's where the money is. Yeah, they get it. All right.
Yep. And then the slime balls are going to go to insurance.
Shockingly enough. Yeah. We got time for one more?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're 20 minutes in.
Angela writes us from Mount Airy, North Carolina. Do you know the place? Oh, is that where they're from?
Yeah. Mount Airy is the town that Andy Griffith
Mayberry RFD?
That Andy Griffith modeled Mayberry after. If you look, really close by is Pilot Mountain. Remember Mount Pilot?
You can't because tell me it's not on rerun still or something.
Of course it is. Oh, and remember they would go into Raleigh.
Yeah, that was the big day.
That was the big city when they go down to Raleigh.
So exciting, Angela. We mean nothing by all this, so we love your town and love your show.
They have Andy Griffith's restaurants. They have Aunt Bee's restaurant.
I am so disgusted.
You got to go.
You're showing your age. You're showing your age.
You got to go. I've been to Mount Airy. It's a cute little town. The Andy Griffith Theater. There's a theater there.
God's sake. Angela writes, isn't that the one that Ronnie Howard was in too? Wasn't he in that show?
Ron Howard was Opie.
Okay, I thought so. That's what I thought.
With Ron Howard
Sorry, Ron.
as Opie.
Sorry, Ron. All right. Let's get to the question. You were talking about AVGE, which is the Avantis Global Equity Fund, and
AVGV.
I said AVGE. That's the first one. That's the Global Equity Fund. And AVGV, which is the Global Value Fund. Yeah, I know. You suggested to a caller to change their IRA from AVGE to AVGV.
Yes.
I'm saying that so fast I'm screwing it up. AVGE to AVGV. I hope I said that right. Anyway, I'm thinking of doing that too. Don, is there any scenario where it would not be okay to switch in an IRA? Love the show. Thanks. Come on.
Yes, there is a scenario in which it would not make
what's
sense.
The scenario?
That is,
under what circumstance?
if you are, if you have a higher need for stability,
Oh,
AVGV is going to be more volatile than AVGE.
Should be.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. I mean, it just
more
makes
to
sense.
the riskier stocks, if
It's
you will.
more risky. So you've got to be a greater risk taker. So my suggestion is, no, nobody switch until you go take the flippin' risk quiz at talkingrealmoney.com and see if you're like a 90. Nobody's a 90.
It could be just the one fund if you have no bonds.
Yeah, if you have no other things. Yeah, you need to be a 90.
There are so few people that score a 90 on that test. I think last time I did, I got like 87 or something.
I'm in the 70s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I'm old and know this business.
I mean, here's the thing. Again, as soon as you mention a new fund,
you predicted this. You
20
did.
people.
You did.
I know, because they'll say, "Wait, you said that. You got to move all your money to that." Remember that new fund, and it is new. AVGV is new.
Track record doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. But what does matter is it holds more stocks that are, you have to use the word riskier. These are companies that are out of favor. These are companies
smaller.
They're smaller, yeah.
And they're in trouble, many of them. Those value stocks usually mean you're undervalued because the market doesn't want to own you because of a problem they perceive.
Bad CEO, terrible market, whatever it is. So you've got to be willing to take that risk. I worry that people, I guess in my heart of hearts, I'd rather see you be an AVGE because I think the likelihood is you'll stick with it more. There will be times with AVGV that you correctly point out, there are going to be a lot of volatility. That's a global value fund.
I just want to go out on a limb and say I can't guarantee anything.
And I'd like to cut it off behind you if I can.
But I am pretty confident that you are going to suffer through greater downturns at some point.
And maybe for long periods of time.
Yeah.
Because value can go out of favor. I mean,
it
AVGE is a little more balanced.
It did for the the last 20 years almost.
Yeah, I know.
15 years.
So you may give up after a bad performance.
Right.
So I do worry a bit. Yeah, I hate to say it, but the likelihood is if your runway's long enough, you'll probably make more in that fund than you would be in AVGE. Probably. Not for sure. Probably. But who knows? So go right ahead. How about 50% in each one or something? I don't know, because you're going to own a lot of the same stocks. But yeah.
Thank you,
please.
King Solomon.
Yeah. Splitting the baby there, son. So anyway, there you go. I do want to mention that by insistence from my co-host, I will be back on the road taking a vacation in Arizona. And guess what?
How many vacations do you have planned for 2026 already?
Do you really want to know? You really don't want to know, do you?
I do. I want
what
to know.
counts as a vacation?
You going somewhere that's not Seattle.
Let's see. I think, well, I don't know because this fall, depending on where my daughter ends up going to college, I'm going to go there and see her too. So they got to throw that in there.
That counts as a vacation because it's Southern California.
She gets a senior trip. That's
if
one.
It was winter in Bozeman, I would say, no, that's not a vacation. But if it's fall in SoCal,
you're probably looking at 3 or 4 trips. That's probably likely. It's not crazy. Anyway, I will be in the desert in the wonderful month of April, where it will be sunny and warm. But I'm taking a day, the 7th, to meet with you. So if you live in the greater Phoenix area and you'd like to have your portfolio reviewed, you'd like to sit down and chat about your situation, I'll do it with you. But I'm taking a limited number. We do this one day. That's it. Got
Boy, and the greater
to do.
Phoenix area is certainly greater. It is so flippin' huge.
It's massive. So, and a lot of you are listening there, and we thank you for that. So if you want to do that, you just go to talkingrealmoney.com, click on Meet an Advisor, and then in the form type in, want to meet Tom on April 7th in Scottsdale. So let me know, and we'll get all the details to you. So love to meet you. We did this last year. It was a lot of fun. Really
and if you want to ask us questions, go to talkingrealmoney.com and click on the contact form and send those questions in a variety of ways. You can type them or you can speak them. Or actually, as somebody did recently, you can have AI speak it.
You did that too. It was scary.
I had AI speak me.
That was really scary. Oh, by the way, if you have not signed up for Retire Meet 2026, you need to do that too. Maybe you're not coming to Seattle because we're running out of opportunity to come in person, but virtually you could be anywhere and enjoy the program with Christine Benz, Don McDonald, Paul Merriman, Medicare, Social Security, estate planning, all of it there, planning for retirement. So take advantage of that. I think there's a $10 charge. It all goes to charity. So retiremeet.com. That's MEET on March 7th. Join us. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, because we're going to be there trying to help you create a better retirement. And we're always going to be here like 5 days a week helping you understand your financial future better because, well, we're talking real money.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions. Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy. Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services. Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. And the lawyers get richer.